Hello everyone, welcome to Timescale Part 2 on how to create hypertables. Today we're going to walk through how to do that and convert a normal Postgres table to a hypertable in Timescale. There are many examples of this in our documentation. There's also one here shown on the screen, but I want to walk you through this using our 𝗥𝗲𝗃𝗁𝗃 application today. So the first step in creating a hypertable or making a hypertable is to create your normal Postgres table, and you would do that just as you would in any Postgres application by simply using the create table command. Once that is created, and it's optional here, you can also add indexes to the regular Postgres table if you want. Keep in mind that once the conversion to hypertable happens, there is a default index on time. So you can do this now, or you can create indexes once the hypertable is converted from the normal Postgres table as well. So it's optional to do that in step 2. Third step is taking that regular Postgres table and converting it to a hypertable. And you can see here the command create hypertable defines the name of the hypertable, the time column you're using, and then the chunk time interval. And keep in mind, by default, that is 7 days. Once the hypertable is formed, you can download data or insert data into it. There's several different ways of doing it. It could be as simple as a copy from a CSV file into the table, or you could use migration tools or some other custom method as well. Once that data is populated, you can check to make sure that your row counts match your Postgres table, your original Postgres table, as well as just make sure that your hypertable was populated with data. Here you can look at the chunks for the time intervals that were defined, and you can see here this has 2 chunks. And what that means is it basically has 14 days of data or less, because the chunks were defined as 7 days. And you can see that over here in your range start and range end. You can see what time intervals were encompassed by the data within that original Postgres table. Second thing you can do here is you can take a look at what the size of the chunks are. And this comes into play more in the next part, where we look at the 25% rule that I mentioned in part 1. You can see over here to the right what the size of each chunk is, of the 2 chunks. Also wanted to show you this as an alternate method than doing queries. Within our service, if you go to the Explorer tab, you can see this under the public and your energy metrics. In this example table, you can look at the chunk subtab, and you can see here it shows you the same information as you were able to see previously by manually querying the start and end times. And then if you have compression defined, you can see that over to the right, as well as the indexes and other information about the table. So that's it for our part 2 on creating a hypertable. In part 3, we'll talk about best practices for hypertables. See you there.